This question talks about payroll cuts. The first round of payroll cuts need to start at the school board office. Is anyone there taking a percentage cut or days without pay, not furlough days?
I have kind of two thoughts on this question. One is the furlough days are pay cuts or days without pay. So if we were to have 5 days of furlough, 3 days of furlough, whatever it might be for administrative personnel in the county, which is something that we have as one of our possible contingencies and scenarios in the staffing cuts or pay budget discussions, that would be days without pay for those that take a furlough day. There's no compensation for that day. At this point, my hope is that we don't have to do across-the-board cuts. If we were to do that, the cuts would come for every employee in the school system, including myself. That's the only fair way to do it. The one group that would be would not have to do that would be our food service employees. In essence, our food service program generates its own revenue, and therefore we allow that program to operate within that revenue stream that they do produce. And so all other staff would be affected, administrators to support staff to teachers to everyone, if we were to have to do a 3% across the board. And I'm still hopeful and optimistic to say that we're not out of the woods in making that determination at this point, but I'm hopeful that we won't have to go there.
If we do have to go to a 3% salary decrease, this question addresses that. If the 3% decrease in salary will be administered, how could it possibly be fair to those who will have already had thousands of dollars cut from their income by reduction of extended contract days, and to those who did not and will not receive their 20-year step? They say that's about 2 years' worth of teachers now.
Well, at this point, if we were to do the 3% decrease, we haven't determined how that would apply to those that have already taken cuts on their extended days. Extended days are days that go beyond the 200-day contract that the majority of our teachers are on. It's not a move that we wanted to make even at this point with the extended days, but we felt like we needed to address extended day contracts before we dealt with all the rest of the staff, only because they're non-directly involved in instruction during those extended days a lot of times. But it's my hope that this will work out so that we don't have to do that. Based on how large the cuts are from the state, I can't rule out anything at this point, but we haven't made a determination whether it would apply to those folks or not. And it's my hope that our greatest resource, and it's my belief that our greatest resource, and my hope that we can one day start adding to their salary versus subtracting from their salary.
This is another central office question. Does everyone at the school board office need a personal secretary?
Each person in our office doesn't have a personal secretary. There is an administrative assistant assigned to each person, but most of our administrative assistants are assigned by the task that they do and work with several folks, actually, in order to get the job done. We typically don't have personal secretaries, but everybody is associated with one up here. And by the way, I think they do a great job, and they do a lot of work, and they do wonderful things to help keep this organization running. But our structure is pretty, I would say, not atypical for most organizational structures of how administrative assistants or secretaries are assigned at this point.